I mean, to have this bike warranted within the first 3 weeks of owning it, that might say something in itself, but the quality of service that I've received about this bike is just next to none. Yeah, a bit. Want to stand up? Hey everyone, just a quick one today. I thought I'd do a bit of an update on the issues I was having with the Specialized Turbo Levo. So I took it into the local retailer a couple of days ago, and today I've got it back, so let's get right into it. So here it is, we've got it back. We've got our Specialized Turbo Levo Comp, redwood colour scheme, as you would have seen in the other videos. So when I took it in the other day, we basically had 4 issues. Well, 3 issues, but then we added a bonus one, which isn't really relevant. But I'll talk you through it anyway. So here we go. So the first thing that we went in to get fixed at the bike shop was this Praxis crank arm. So basically, if you've been following along in my other videos, I did have a slight mishap and sort of fall off a cliff while I was getting used to the bike and destroyed this pedal. Not this one, but the well, I'm not riding around with a destroyed pedal, obviously. And anyway, I thought the pedal was bent, which it was mangled to oblivion. Swapped the pedal out, was riding around on the crank arm, and I was noticing a little bit of play, and I thought, oh, maybe it's just psychological because I had been riding with the bent pedal. So I give it a bit, and then I got off, checked it up, and yep, turns out it was about a mil out. But now we're all good in the hood. The second thing, which wasn't really of concern, but I just had a bit of a loose wheel. I was going to do it myself, but then I thought if I've got to take it in anyway, I may as well make the most of the service. So at the local retailer, and I believe most Specialized stores, the first service when you buy a bike is free for the labour. So I thought, you know, why wouldn't I pass up this opportunity? So I just got the derailleur straightened, all the gears, which had slightly changed tension a bit after a few solid 3 weeks of riding it. You know, just the basics, what you expect when you get a service. I was just really making the most of it, nothing too fancy, but thought I'd mention it anyway. Everything's good. And now what everyone's really here for, the big 2 reasons we were taking it in. We had in a previous video we discovered there was some water leaking and getting into the seal where the charge port is. So while nothing had eventuated in terms of the bike failing from that, I did want to reassure myself and you guys who are potentially going to buy this bike and get into the retailer and ask, you know, what's the deal. So I went in to ask about that, but I also wanted to go get the firmware update because there's a new one for the motor, and some people had left comments saying they'd recently gotten that firmware update, and as a result their bike no longer worked and just sporadically turned off. So there's a bit of angst going into getting this firmware update, deliberately knowing people had said that, especially since these bikes in some countries in the world, you know, you can't even get these bikes at the moment just because of the release dates are all staggered and coronavirus, I guess. But so I'll show you what happened. So take it into the local retailer and explain these issues. So first of all, pop this open, and if you can remember, we had the moisture around here. You can see that it's still a bit dirty because obviously I didn't want to do it all up for them and then go in and then be like, what, there's nothing wrong with that. We had moisture in all of this, and then up here, this was minor, but I mentioned it anyway. I remember you could just rub your hand across that when it was covered in the mud, and this would turn on and turn off. And then the wet mud in the car would also activate this. I could hear that it was turning on and off while I was driving. With this in the back, So, I just brought that up. Then said I wanted the firmware update. They said regarding these issues that they'd have a look at it and get back to me. Obviously, they weren't going to straight up say anything right there and then. But so fast forward, 3 days? Yeah, this is the fourth day, the morning of the fourth day. So they've been pretty quick. I didn't even book this in. I just rocked up with it and gave it to them, which says a lot about the Specialized stores, considering how busy they are at the moment. And so this is what they said. So I get a call from the Specialized dealers early this morning. Naturally not 4 in the morning early. When I say early, I just mean like, first thing when the shop opens. Like, customer service is good, but it's not that good. So basically I go in to pick up the bike because I have to progress this story to end up in this situation now. That's stating the obvious. Good job me. I'm an excellent storyteller. And go in and have a chat with the guys downstairs. And basically what's happened is they've gone to do the firmware update. They've plugged it in to their Specialized firmware updating machines. I don't know what that is. And basically my battery's come up with an error code, and they haven't seen it before, so they say. They said that it's very common in the older models, which, as you know, we've just had the announcement that the warranties continued an extra 2 years to 4 years on those older model bikes with the battery and motor. So I've had this bike for 3 weeks, almost 3, not even 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks probably. And basically, after a while trying to do the firmware update, they couldn't get the bike to turn on anymore. The battery cooked itself. They don't know why. I don't know why. It was working fine before. Could it be the firmware update? Maybe, but we can't say. We can only speculate. Could it have been the water getting in? Maybe. We don't know. Regarding the water, they said they couldn't really comment on it because the battery had done what it did. So that wasn't a high priority at the moment for them. So basically, after ringing Specialized Australia, they warrantied it. The new battery's being shipped down, and in the meantime, this is how good the service is. No inconvenience to me. They have put in a new battery. So I've got like a loan battery. In the meantime, fully charged, I can keep it until the new one comes, basically, and ride it hard. It's still 700 watt hour. It's there's been no skimping at all, which is like it's amazing. But at the same time, so I have had a warranty on the battery on a brand new 2021 bike before I've hit the 3-week mark. So take that as you will. Obviously for me, it's no difference because, I've got no inconvenience of when you break your bike and you have to wait for it. You've got to send it. Like if it's a Canyon in Australia, we don't, or in Tasmania, we don't have Canyon dealers. It's all online. So if you break that linkage in that Canyon, can't remember what it's called, you got to send it off and wait. Like, I've had friends who have been bikeless for weeks. I think even once it was like a month, just because the shapeshifter, that's what it's called, just because there's no one to deal with. But Specialized have been on it. Like, I can't speak more highly of them, really. So there we have it. Little update for you on the current circumstance of this bike. For those interested, following the situation, which I presented, a week ago, half a week, if that, this shows how quickly, although there have been problems, they've dealt with it very well thus far. Financially, I haven't even had to pay for anything until the battery comes. When I say pay for things, I mean obviously the battery is a warranty. They said they'd cover shipping, but I mean This crank arm, which I had to replace, as far as I know, that's not a warranty because I bent it. But yeah, I don't even have to pay for that yet until the replacement battery comes, which is, well, it's awesome. I mean, props to them. They know how to run a good business and keep customers happy. They really are specialised. I bet you love me for that. In other news, now I've got the bike back. That's all good. I've found what you're looking at right now. You don't know you're looking through it, but you are. The action cam. And we're gonna go do some proper trail filming, pending good weather. I'm pretty sure we're meant to have 40 mils of rain for like the next 5 days. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen and we can get some good videos coming. So like, comment, and even if you don't do that, I guess the most important thing to see these trail videos are to subscribe. And we can give like a live review on the trails of the Turbo Levo and even the Commencal Metra, but there's less of you interested in that, so nonetheless, see you later. Little bonus, just in case you caught glimpses of it in that video. I don't actually endorse doing this. It's pretty disgusting. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. Oh, it won't happen again.